Hello folks, it's Johnny here. Thought I'd do a quick video tonight to talk about this stuff, Vallejo paint. Now, I swear by it. I've got the complete range of all their Model Air, Panzer Aces, Model Colour, the whole kit and caboodle. In terms of an airbrushing paint, I think it's fantastic, but a lot of people really don't get on with it. So what I thought we'd do tonight is do a little demo of using their paint just to show how it goes on. So without further ado, let me introduce you to one of the stars tonight. Now this is a basic Premier G35 airbrush. Cost about 30-35 quid. In terms of double action airbrushes, this is about as cheap and as simple as you can get. So no fancy schmancy kind of gear here. In the background, there is a Sparmax compressor with a moisture trap and a holding tank. Cost about 170 quid. If you're going to be airbrushing models quite a lot, get one of these babies. It's one of those odd things. I see people spending inordinate amounts of money on kit, but then seem to fight shy of buying a decent compressor. So anyway, that's all there is here. Only thing I've done with the airbrush, which I usually do, and you can probably see it just there, is I always leave it in the airbrush station. And for those who don't know, that's an airbrush station. I leave it in there with a little bit of airbrush cleaner in there overnight after I've given it a good cleansing. The airbrush cleaner that I'm using is Vallejo's own brand airbrush cleaner. And that's pretty much it. So there's some cleaner in there. So what we're going to do is fire up the, whatever this thing is, I forget. What's it called, Donald? Spray booth, that's it. Thank you, Donald. That's Donald, my assistant. Anyway, there we go. She's all clear and ready to go. So, what we're going to do is, there's our primer. Give it a really good shake. And I do stress that this is straight out of the bottle. There is nothing added to it whatsoever. So there you go. Give it a good shake. Pop the top. I mean, this is the thing I really do like about Vallejo paint, is the ability to just pour it into the cup. That's it. Now we can, if we need to, just give it a little bit of a stir in there with an old paintbrush, but that's pretty much that. And so here is our test piece. That's the bottom part of a hull of a Airfix Type 45 destroyer. So let's just get the cleaner out, and there we are. We've got primer coming through. Now, as you can see, that's spraying all right. Let's get some nice tight fine lines. The pressure I've got here at the moment, it's about just under 2 bar. We'll lower that to just a bit then. What are we on now? About 1.5 bar. That's going to happen quite a bit because it tends to do that. Anyway, there we go. We can see it's not clogging up our airbrush or anything. So we'll just start by applying a light coat to the underside of this hull here. Now, as you can see, sounds good. You can always tell if an airbrush is happy by the sound of the paint coming out. Now what we're doing here is we're just applying it in even coats, working backwards and forwards and up and down. That's usually the best way to start building up a layer. Just carry on, blah, 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 blah. Talk amongst yourselves for a while. Shocking weather we're having this time of year. Well, anyway, look, we'll just, thank you. Well, there you go. I've really kind of blasted that on for a good minute or so. It's not running. It's not drying particularly harshly. It's not like a rough sandpaper or pebbly finish. And it does dry particularly well. So there we go. Let's just prop that up for a second. Now that's obviously still a bit wet, but if I turn it into the light there, It's gone on really smoothly. It's not running. That shine will go off once the primer starts to dry. But you could carry on priming that for, you know, the whole length of the hull. But there you go. That was just the red primer straight out of the bottle, and I've just, as you can see, I'll just carry on spraying it here. And that's really not causing me any problems whatsoever. And the other great thing you can do with this, if you want to try and spray it fine line, I mean, there you go, that's all there is to it. As for cleanup, I'm going to waste a bit there, that's a shame, but in terms of cleanup, bear with me a second. I tip the excess away, into a bin, then a bit of water in there. That's primarily just to get the excess paint out of there. Cotton swab. Just run that around to get the excess out. That'll do for now. Now we'll get a bit of rag, pop that in there. You notice at the moment I still haven't gone as far as actually spraying through. I think the idea is you just want to remove as much of the paint from the colour cup as possible. So there you go, that's reasonably clean now. Now, we can add some of the airbrush cleaner. Good amount in there. Again, other end of the cotton bud. Give it a good stir, which helps get the excess out. Both of those can now be emptied away. Now, whoops, a little bit more thinner. Now that's really quite weak now. So now we can get our airbrush station. Oops, there we go. And just blast that through. You can see it's starting to go down in the colour cup. That's it, empty. Just give it a quick blast through now. Now what we can do, a little bit more in there. A little more cleaner, another whiz round with the brush. And that's pretty much it now. We'll just turn this paper over so we can, there you go, give it a good blast. Good blast through there. La 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 la. Oops. La 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 la. And that's it. That's it. That is now absolutely clear of the paint. Obviously give the body a quick rub over with a little bit of tissue paper. The other thing I tend to do is just take the needle out, give that a wipe, just make sure that's absolutely clean, and then gently pop it back in, tighten it off, and then a little bit of thinner left in there. I'll pop that back into the airbrush station, and there you go, that's started to dry off quite nicely now. That's it. I mean, that is how troublesome it is to use Vallejo paint. Stay tuned, coming up next, Donkeys That Sing.